Hi, I'm Brian Sparks, editor of Greenhouse Grower. We are back in the studio today with Dr. Allan Armitage. How are you today, Allan?
Good day, Brian. All is well. It's still winter out there. There's no doubt about that. And I know that there's a ton of snow on the ground for people in the north, and it's cold as heck for people even in the south. So this is what I call an old-fashioned winter this year. Yeah, we're doing well. Everybody has the flu or the cough or something else, but that's a normal winter as well.
Yep.
So
I guess all we do now is look forward to spring.
Well, the thing too, Brian, that sometimes we forget as an industry or as growers, retailers, landscapers, particularly retailers, the colder the winter, the better the spring.
Yeah.
And so even though this winter seems to never end, it will end.
Mm-hmm.
And when it ends, I want to tell you, people are going to come out there and they're going to just rush the garden centers and whatever else. So I think it's a really good omen for spring when winter is tough.
It gives everybody a lot to look forward to. So that's great. Well, and you talk about spring. So we've talked, in some of these past videos about California Spring Trials, which is taking place right about a month from now for when we're recording this. I think it's fun sometimes to look back on previous versions of events like California Spring Trials. So kind of wanted to get your thoughts on, having attended CAST for many years. What are some of the things that have really stood out to you in terms of you go to CAST, this amazes you, and then years later, it's become something that's really become an industry standard? There's always failures, sure, that take place, but there's always varieties and series that really stand the test of time that start at California Spring Trials.
Yeah, that makes you think when you ask a question like that, because for better or for worse, I have been doing this for quite some time. I've been doing it, yeah. You think of an old man who's just barely able to set up here, but I've been doing it when they called it the pack trials.
Yeah.
Because plants were essentially shown as cell packs, 24s, 36s, whatever. And so it certainly has evolved. I think one of the things that stands out is just the diversity of materials. We still see a ton of petunias, and we still see, a ton of marigolds, but, and I don't mean to sound like your grandfather, but it wasn't that long ago that nobody had ever heard of calibrachoa. Nobody ever heard of angelonia. These are standard plants today. And the breeding on these plants has been spectacular.
Yeah.
And then we got now calibrachoas bred with petunias and calitunias and things like that. And all of this is just an evolution of, okay, what can we show people that we are doing? And there's only so many red petunias we can show.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only so many red petunias. There's only so much room in the marketplace for another red petunia. So we went with what were called specialty annuals. And those specialty annuals like Scaevola and some of the ones I've mentioned, Pentas. Who ever heard of Pentas? Again, I know for the people who are watching this who are, new to this industry or have been in this industry for maybe 10 years, these have been around forever, but they haven't been around forever. And so from my perspective, it'd be great fun just to sit around the table with a whole bunch of people saying, hey, remember that? We'd all have a cup of tea or a glass of beer. We'd all be sitting around and say, I remember that. But that is the magic of the California trials. And some of the smaller growers who are able to show their wares.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So having said that, of course, it's just a terrible time of year. I get it. I encourage everybody to get there, but we're so busy in March and April or whatever it happens to be. It's always early spring that it's hard to get to. But oh my goodness, the changes. And when I start talking like this, Brian, I got to slow down because there have been so many cool things going on.
Yeah.
And you try to balance them and put them in perspective. But many of the industry standards today, heck, are unknown 10, 15.
Well, I tell you, what would be kind of fun experiment too would be, since I know we do a lot of videos talking to a lot of the breeders at CAST. So if you look at the videos that we record this year, jump ahead 10, 15, 20 years and look back at them and say, okay, so did we know what we were talking about? How did things turn out from when we first saw them there? That would be a really interesting experiment, I think.
Well, and not only are we seeing plants, we're seeing, new methods of propagation. We're seeing, just all those things that go behind the scenes. Where are these plants being propagated? It's all in rooted cuttings today.
Yeah.
So where are these, that kind of stuff that's so much more efficient than it was back when. It doesn't, and again, if we said, what's going to happen in 15 years from now? Who absolutely knows. But, just hope that we'll have great products to show people. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Well, and again, as we said at the beginning of this, cast is coming up in just about a month from now. And if you're watching this, you can go to greenhousegrower.com to get a preview of what to expect there. And then obviously during and after the event, a lot of live coverage from our team. So Allan, good catching up with you on cast today and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing a whole lot of people at cast. We always have a good time because really, when all is said and done, the plants are fabulous, but the people are even better. So that'll be great fun.
That's right.